Hey, what's going on everyone? Today we're going to be going over how to get Umbra, which I'm holding in my character's hand, and Azura star, which is highlighted in my menu. The first thing you're going to want to do is open your map and travel to a place called Vindicel, right here. I've already visited, so I'm going to fast travel. Once you get there, it's a dungeon. You've probably seen it before. Go ahead and head on in. The first thing you're going to see is a long staircase going down, so go all the way down, and it's going to open up into a very big room. Now, I'm just getting some points for sneak here, but go ahead and take care of these rats. There's not many enemies in here that are going to give you a problem. The biggest concern is this trap right here. So make sure you dodge the spikes. If you do fall in, don't worry, it comes back up. But you can take care of the other inept enemies. This just gives you another shot of the big room here. And depending on your character's acrobatics, you can just jump around. I was able to walk over the corners as I was coming out, over encumbered. So go ahead and pick the route you want to take. But nothing much to see in that room. So into the dungeon we go. We'll be met with another big room here. This one's got some gas coming out in the center. You can see it actually takes care of the enemies for you. So that crab that was alive is no longer going to be. So you can search it if you want, but they don't usually offer much. So I'm going to press on deeper into the dungeon. I'm going to be looking around a little bit because on my first way through, I was looking for chests. You know, if you played this game in these dungeons, they're often hidden somewhere. But there's not a lot, any really, that I could find in these main rooms. We'll be coming up on another room here that actually does have a chest, so I just want to make sure you see it. The only thing guarding it is a crab, and I don't think it'll give you too much trouble. So we're coming into the room now. There's the crab. Tried to sneak up on it, but no luck. And there's the chest. So when you're going through this, make sure you just check that. There's not much in there, maybe a potion. So not the biggest deal if you miss it, but maybe it'll be useful for future encounters. You'll go through this gate, and it's going to follow around some balcony kind of areas. And this is the final destination, really. There's Umbra down there. They didn't really have much to say when I tried to talk to them. So you can try, maybe you'll have better luck. But they have what you want. So it's up to you now. You can start just swinging on them right now, or you can try what I did. You're going to want to go back up to the balcony, and there's a pillar that you can jump across onto. So first try and jump on the railing. It's a little tricky depending on the acrobatics of your character. You see I'm just floating and have to try and wedge myself in there, and then try and do it again. So once you land on the pillar, grab your favorite ranged weapon. I've got a few arrows here, and then you can just start attacking. I came prepared. I thought this was going to be a much longer battle, but depending on the weapons that you have, it can be done in 3-4 hits. And once they're down, you can just jump off the pillar, and all the spoils of war belong to you now. They've got a pretty nice set of ebony armor, so go ahead and grab that if you don't have it, or if you just want to fence it for later. But there's Umbra, so make sure you grab that. There's everything in Umbra's pockets. And as far as what's down here in the main chamber with Umbra, there wasn't much else other than this chest. So go ahead and crack the lock there, and there's just a few kind of knick-knacky items in here. Stuff that you might not immediately need, but maybe it'll be helpful for later. So now we're done with the first part of this video. We've got Umbra. Let's move on to Azura's star. Now to get the star, you're going to want to go to Azura's shrine, which is up here in the northeast part of the map. Now for this, you're going to be fighting 5 vampires, so you're going to want to get yourself some of your favorite way to not become one. My favorite way is to go to this part of the map and pick a bunch of mandrake. You're going to be looking for an area called the Infested Mine, and there's a few wild animals around, but there's also a bunch of mandrake. And it's pretty easy to spot. Purple flower, green leaves. You can see in just this area there's 3-4 flowers. So run around, grab as much as you need. And I also want to point out that there is this, you call it a lake, so there's kind of a path that feeds down into it here, and if you look to the just right, there's a chest here, and there's another chest too far from it that's got some even better loot. So we'll walk up to it. It's even got some mandrake. But once we take a look, you see there's a nice dagger in there, some gold, silver nugget. Since you came to all the trouble to get out here, you might as well get your money's worth. And now we're actually ready to leave the area, but we're going to need one more thing to head up to Azura's shrine, and that is glow dust. So you can grab that in the main ingredient in the Imperial Market District. Let's go ahead and grab that, and be sure you put in a good word for the shop owner. He really appreciates it. Now we've got what we need, we can head to the shrine, And we want to start a conversation with this guy who looks a lot like my character. Look at that. Now, Mel's isn't in the business of talking to strangers, so you're going to have to persuade him. And if you haven't done the persuasion minigame, it's pretty simple. There's basically 2 happy faces and 2 sad faces, and you're going to want to try and get their disposition, I think, around 75. I got him most of the way there and then just threw him some coins, just for the heck of it. But once you get him to a certain level, you can ask him about the Shrine of Azura. He's going to let you know that you can come to the shrine at dusk and deliver some glow dust, and that'll actually start the quest. I should also mention that you might want to pick up some extra health potions and potions of sorcery. Depending on the level of your character, this might be a bit more of a challenge than Umbra. Remember, that took 3-4 hits and we were done, but here we're going to be fighting 5 vampires, which might be a bit more of a challenge. Now I'm going to show you my strategy for doing it, but my recommendation is that you just make yourself ready. Now here we are at the shrine, it's dusk, so we'll submit our glow dust, and then the shrine's going to start talking to us. It's going to give us the quest. We'll go ahead and open our map, see where we need to go, and we'll see it's actually not too far from where we currently are. At a place called the Gutted Mine, and you might want to pick yourself up a horse, because these vampires have quite a bit of loot on them, and depending on your character, if you're a strong enough sorcerer, or if you have your way around being over-encumbered, you might want to bring a horse. So I went and got one. My initial strategy was to park the horse right out in front here, thinking I might have lots of loot, but we'll see in a bit that might not have been the best strategy. Into the mine we go, and this is actually my first time through it. So you can see I'm trying to sneak around, but oof, such a klutz. Trigger a trap, here comes the vampire. And the way that these battles are set up, at least on my playthrough, there's one vampire kind of near the entrance to the cave, and then there's 2 sets of 2 vampires as you go deeper and deeper into the caves. So prepare for 3 battles. You can see I do okay fighting this first vampire. There we go. I think, oh, there's some loot. Let's go ahead and stash it right by the entrance here, so I'm not over-encumbered in the other battles. And then let's go deeper and see what we can do. Now I'm sneaking around, surveying the scene, and oh, okay. Here we go. This is the main vampire. Very strong, huge claymore. And you can see the other, second, we can call them. They also come over, pick on you. Now, this is just like a sheer panic kind of moment. I'm trying to get out of here. I can feel that they're very strong enemies. I'm getting stuck on stuff, trying to run around. I need to heal. I can't get out. What do I do? And I realize, oh no, I'm probably going to die. I try to run around a little more, get some space, try and think a little bit, but I really wasn't ready for this. This is one of the more difficult battles that, to this point, I'd ever encountered in the game. So I was really trying to get my wits about me, and I said, I try and swing my way out here, think, oh, you're not going to take me alive, and yeah, they certainly don't. Given how poorly that went in close quarters, I think, ooh, maybe I'll lure them outside and use range to my advantage. But we can see my original idea to keep the horse by the entrance doesn't quite work here. They, for some reason, pick on it much more than me, so it's nice that I can just swing on them, but the whole point of me bringing the horse was to transfer gear back when I become over-encumbered. So I think, no, don't kill my horse, definitely don't kill my horse. But try as I might, you can see, yes, horsey falls. I come up with the idea to move the horse a little bit farther away and head back in. I think, oh, maybe I'll just go invisible. I'll try and kill just one of them, and then I'll head back out of the cave. So you can see this actually works. I'm just swinging on the second there. They actually have a lot less armor, so they're a bit easier to kill. And then once they're done, I think, okay, let's actually get out of here. I head back up, out the door, try to lure the one stronger vampire out, and just go to town with ranged attacks. So here they come, and you're going to see I'm just going to try and hit them with magic, jump around, rinse, wash, repeat, really. And this actually works. So you might want to incorporate this strategy depending on the class of your character and the skill levels you have at this point in the game. But you can see this is actually working. Slowly but surely, whittling down their health, just making sure that their ranged attacks can't get me. I've got my potions of sorcery and my strong potions of healing on my quick access wheel. I can drink those whenever I need them. So there we go. We finally felled the vampire. Grab all their gear. Here's my new spot to store everything, and then back into the dungeon. Now I do a little bit more looting. There's this thing in here called Silver Vein. That one was empty, but go ahead and grab those. You're going to get nuggets and stuff like that. And then there's coffins around. Not much of value in there. I should have grabbed this garlic, but grab whatever you need. Now for the second part of the dungeon, you're going to want to pull this rope. It's going to reveal a hidden kind of passageway here. and you're going to go deeper down in there. There's going to be the second set of 2 vampires. So go down there, grab their attention, and then head for the hills if you can't fight indoors like me. Now, these 2 vampires were much more difficult than the first 2. This one especially. There's lots of armor, the sword's more powerful, he's faster, so trifecta, really. You can see this is where I make the death blow to the sorcerer of the 2, but the vampire is still at large. Running and jumping could be your friend here, depending on how strong of a combatant you are. Make use of this hill as well. For some reason, I don't think they like that. They seem to stick to the path like this, so that could buy you some time. Either you can heal, you can fire off some more shots, whatever you need it. However you need it, use it. Now, I wish I could say this is a guaranteed strategy, but I actually got pretty lucky in my playthrough, an attempt in this battle. You can see I'm luring him up the hill like normal. This is just rinse, wash, repeat kind of stuff. But I lure him past these rocks, and then he actually gets stuck on them. So I'm kind of taken aback by this, but then think, oh man, I'm going to take advantage of this. So I just start wailing on him with these distance attacks, and he never got off the rock. And there we have it. That's how you can kill all the vampires. You'll see you get a notification really quick there. I think it popped up right as I was looting the body, so we actually missed it. But it'll be a confirmation message. The last thing I want to show you here, make sure you go all the way down the end of the dungeon and push these loose planks. There's a final coffin back here with some pretty good loot in there. You can see I get a nice grand necklace of sea walking, which is pretty awesome. I've already put that to use. But now we're done with this, so we can grab our horse, we can go back, grab all our gear that we tossed at our nice looting location right by the door, and head back to the shrine to finish our quest for Azura's Star. Now, this really shows the value of the horse and why I wanted to keep it alive, because I don't think this would have been possible, or maybe enjoyable is the best word, with all this over-encumbrance to walk back to the shrine and then back to the city. No fun. Once you get to the shrine, just walk up to it. You can activate it. There's going to be a little conversation, but then you'll get confirmation from Azura that you've been granted Azura's Star. You now have a reusable Grand Soul Gem and a sword capable of capturing souls. I'm really curious about your experience with either of these quests or items. Was it as easy for you to get Umbra as it was for me? Was it as difficult for you to get Azura's Star as it was for me? Was there something way easier I could have done? Let me know. I'm sure to help others out too. But I gotta go. Thanks for hanging out. See you later.